is playing games, Olympic torches and brass bands, and dead Jews in Germany.
So this is the movie Munich. Yeah, it's a true story. That is Golda Meir. She was the prime minister of Israel back during the Munich Olympics in Munich, Germany, when all of the players of Israel were slaughtered. And so in this scene, she was a tough woman, man. She is basically saying sometimes we have to wrestle with our values and compromise them to do what's right. Because here again was another incident where Jews were slaughtered because all of their players were slaughtered. All this debacle that happened. You can go find the actual, some of the footage from the, like real footage from what was going on. The guy that had a mask on, and it was the Black September group, another damn terrorist Arab organization. Okay, there's so many of them. You got Hezbollah there in Lebanon. You got Hamas there in Palestine. You got Iran that on a daily basis calls for death of all the Jews. Okay, that's why we don't let Iran get a nuke. And so, but the debacle with this was so insane. Okay, so first of all, these Black September took them hostage, all the Jews, at the Olympics. They were there to be, they were players for the Olympics. And this turned into a shit show. And they tortured these men. They killed 2 of them in the hotel room. And their demands were they wanted these Palestinian prisoners back, okay? So I don't think they ever intended to let any of the Jews go because they just want them dead. They do. This was back in the 70s. You have to realize Israel is this. I've done a lot of, long before Trump was in the first time, China and Israel and the Middle East, those are the 2 that I've always been fascinated with. So I've done plenty of research long before I knew about all this other stuff with our country, okay? Look, Israel is, they're constantly attacked. That's why they have an Iron Dome. You just don't hear about it. There's rockets going into them all the time from countries. Now, over the years, many of these countries surrounding them just want peace. I would say, like, I think Syria and Egypt have just, like, they're just like, let's get some peace. This is getting ridiculous. But Iran's not going to back down, and Hamas literally embeds itself into the communities in Palestine and into the hospitals. And why I'm pointing this out is because I don't know what happens to people. I think that these are just fake Christians, you know, like which Whitney Webb has never said she's a Christian. But you're going to start seeing it more and more because I'm already seeing it, where Whitney Webb, Ian Carroll, the Redacted channel, and Andrew Torba, CEO of Gab, that's a social media. I'll show you this community letter I got today from him, and they're all just bad actors. Because every time something happens to Israel, so like what happened on October 7th, they literally slaughtered a bunch of people, took a bunch of people hostage, they torture them. There's a scene in this Munich movie, because if you watch this movie, you'll be cheering on the Mossad agent. Okay, you will, because he goes even into Iran to kill every one of them. Because Golda Meir is basically saying all of our players are dead and slaughtered. Because how could there be such a debacle that when there's a deal finally made, they have the Jews that are left that haven't been slaughtered yet in the helicopter ready to send them home, and then some communication has broken down and they all get slaughtered in the helicopter. So none of them came home. No, none of them. And this was in Germany. Again, Germany. So there was so much of, like, they just didn't want them to live. Okay? And then I think they even gave them their Palestinian prisoners back, but then they killed the Jews anyway. But that's how horrible Hezbollah, Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, this Black September, there's so many different ones. And they want the Jews annihilated. So Golda Meir is like, this is where you have to wrestle. And so they decide, we're sick of just getting some international apology Nobody holds any of these people accountable. All of their Jewish players are dead. And so she's basically sends a Mossad agent out to hunt them down and kill them, and he does. And he struggles at times, like, because, you know, at one point he was gonna like blow someone up, but there was his daughter in the house, and I think that he ended up waiting on it because so there's this wrestling that goes on somewhat, but these people murdered them. So you can't just let people get away with this shit. But not only that, so they did. Mossad is like one of the best intelligence agencies, whatever you want to think of them now. In this case, you totally agree with them because if you knew what they did in Munich. There's this scene where this Mossad agent is staying at a safe house overnight because he has this hit he's going to do the next day. And there's this Arab that's staying at the same safe house. And the Arab thinks that the Mossad agent is an Arab. And he basically says to him, the Arabs hate the Palestinians, but we hate the Jews more, but they won't be around much longer. Israel be annihilated. And that is absolutely how many of those countries feel. Not all of them, but they are surrounded by enemies, and they are attacked on a daily basis. You just don't hear about it because it's a normal thing. What happens to these fake Christians or these fake people, the Whitney Webbs, the people that carry on, oh, the poor Palestinians, yeah, okay, whatever, you know, like, I mean, it seems that something will happen to Israel. They'll go in, cut their babies' heads off, massacre. I mean, they torture the Jews. They torture them and then kill them. It's horrible what they do. It's wicked. And it has been forever. And it's in the Bible, though. It's in the Bible that everybody will hate the Jews. But it says in the Bible that those who bless Israel, God will bless you. So, but for whatever reason, everybody feels bad for the Jewish people when they get slaughtered, all for about like 48 hours, 72 tops. And then when they retaliate, you get all these liberals, all these bad actors, all these fake Christians coming out, carrying on. Oh, the poor Palestinians. Oh, they're massacring them. Oh my God, it's a genocide. And it's like, oh, shut up. Because I've done enough history into them, into that whole region. Israel goes out of its way to not hurt civilians. Okay? But yet, those terrorist organizations don't care at all who they hurt. So these Whitney Webbs and Ian Carrolls, all they're going to do is they're going to keep pushing everything is Israel's fault. And Andrew Torba, who's the CEO of Gab social media, sent this out today. It's too bad he never thought of doing this when it comes to the tech bros. But I think this is all bullshit. I think that this is just, all these people, they're fake Christians. They just want to blame Israel for everything. Gab community, I want to share with you a letter we received from an organization called Fighting Online Anti-Semitism. The Israel-based group has informed us of their intention to publish a report about alleged anti-Semitic content on Gab. In their letter, they had the audacity to demand that we work with them to censor speech that they deem unacceptable, just as they are about to publish a report smearing our community. And then the idiot Andrew Torba, who's the CEO of Gab, said our response to them was a simple 2-word email: get bent. Wow. And Andrew Torba is likely a fake Christian. He always ends his letters with Christ is King. So I don't know, maybe a different Christ, you know. Likely just a fake Christian. But somehow these people get very brainwashed by this because all you hear is, oh, the poor Palestinians. And yet you need to know the history there. These people want them annihilated. So it's like if Whitney Webb and Ian Carroll and Andrew Torba and so many others got their way, then Israel should just stand there and be annihilated. Because in my opinion, that's what they want. I'm not saying Israel is perfect, but I don't think they're behind our censorship. And I think Andrew Torba and many other people, especially right now, just keep wanting to say everything is Israel's fault. And they all prove the Bible, and they all prove that either they're stupid or they just hate Jews.